effect. They gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, shall hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Educate, we get the key, unlock the potential. A lesson every day, knowledge essential. Standing tall, walking proud, let your voice be heard. Unite together as one, spread the love with every word. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, shall hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Create, initiate, push through, no limits. Go ahead and live it up. Respect, positivity, you on your way. Break down walls, build bridges. Yeah. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, shall hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. Never forget your home, but look at where you're going.
Another Monday, and I welcome you again to the Youth Effect. Thank you for making it here with us. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend, that you got all the rest and peace and me time that you wanted. Today we're going to listen to one of our young mentors again. Remember, we have mentors on this program, and they're not the adults, they are the young ones. All right, that's why we're called the Youth Effect, and rippling through the impact and effects and shaking up our ground so that they can, and they, as they are already doing, breaking ground, as in our songs, breaking ground, pushing through, no limits and boundaries, okay? Breaking down walls and creating new foundations and stepping stones, building up themselves. We are here and the Youth Effect as a conduit to facilitating the advocacy and empowerment of these young people, giving them a voice, not giving them a voice, wrong words. Letting their voices be heard, because they do have a voice, and bringing forth the expression and their stories and their experiences, in helping us to understand how we can bridge that gap and how we can walk hand in hand forming a harmonious world where we can create this world for them to excel. And in talking about this, I'm speaking with Lakira Barber. Her name is just so fancy. I hope I pronounce it well. When she comes on, she'll let me know. Lakira Barber. And she will tell you a lot about herself. And we'll be speaking to breaking down cycles, as in going beyond generational cycles and reaching for the dream. You know, first generation going to school and being a college graduate, first person in her family to do that. And we do have quite a lot of these type of families and this type of young people breaking ground within their families. I'm going to welcome Miss Barbara right now, and she will tell us all about her little self, her big self. What is wrong with me tonight? Welcome, Miss Barbara. Where are you?
I'm sorry. I was having some technical difficulties. Sorry.
That's okay. So tell us about you. Who are you?
Well, I'm Lakira Barber. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Jersey. Born in New York. But I was somewhat raised in New York and Jersey. I graduated from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University with my bachelor's. I got a bachelor's in psychology with a minor in criminal justice. And right now I am in grad school for criminal justice.
Oh, so what's your path when you do your master's in criminal justice?
Well, after I get my master's, I plan on going to med school for psychiatry. And then after I get my degree in that, I want to become a forensic psychiatrist.
Oh, interesting. That is a very ambitious path and road. But you forgot one thing, you know. We are Caribbean people. Tell us about your Caribbean roots.
Well, my family is from Trinidad and from Cuba. So yeah, my father's side, they're both from Trinidad and Cuba. My father's side, my mother's side, they're American.
Okay,
They're
what
Native
has
American.
Native America, what has been the experience for you growing up in a merged um, Caribbean and American culture? Your first generation everything then. Your first generation American and your first generation as we're going to come to talking about in the educational academic sphere. What has it been like for you being raised up with a Caribbean background?
Well, it was definitely different, especially since, I was more around my American side. Going and visiting my father's side, like being around them, I got to experience different things, like the accents, the culture itself, like the food, the music, and everything, and then just bringing it back to, my the family that are not Caribbean, the Americans, just bringing it back to them. Uh like I just love doing that. They hate it because I bring it back and I like blast it in their house, but I try to get them within the culture also.
Okay. What part of the Caribbean culture has stuck with you?
um I could definitely say the music definitely stuck with me. Um, I just love listening to it. Like soca music. I love soca. I go to the parades that they have in New York, like the Labor Day parade. This year I'm going to Trinidad for the first time, for Carnival, so kind of excited for that.
Look at you in that kind of costume. Oh my God. I can just imagine that you have fun with that part of the culture. And according to certain definitions, there are different definitions of what first generation means. According to the law, Education Act, a first generation is normally a person who an individual from a family who has gone to college for the first time.
Mhm.
Not for the first time, the first person in that family to graduate from a college. There are also other definitions. Some of them say that it's the first time uh, that person from that family graduated with call it a bachelor degree, because
Mhm.
sometimes people go to a community college and they get an associate's degree. So there are different definitions. As well. So to be considered a first generation graduate, you have to be, or the parents or guardians did not earn the same or higher degree, which is what I'm talking about. They could have an associate's degree, but you having a bachelor's degree, having moved on to another higher sphere of the education arena, will be considered the first generation because you graduated with a higher degree, as well as a master's now, PhD, because you're
Yeah.
psychologist,
Mhm.
psychiatrist, um, as well as you're the first in the immediate family to earn any type of degree, whether it's an associate or anything like that. So, what
Mhm.
was it for you? Were you the first to earn any kind of degree, or first to earn a bachelor's degree and now into graduate school?
I was the first to earn any type of degree. My parents didn't graduate high school, so I think my father got his GED, but I'm not sure if my mom did. So I was definitely the first. And then my sister, actually me and my sister, um, I'm older than her, but we both graduated 2 days apart. So so I got mine and she got hers, but I'm actually the first to go to grad school.
Okay. And tell us about your family. How many of you are in the family? So we get a picture of what we're talking about.
There's 17 of us. I had 17 siblings, but I was raised up upon, I got to count with the hands, 7. So it
You
was
were
that know each other like well.
okay.
I just met some of them, some of my siblings like a few years ago.
Okay.
I'm still in contact with them and everything. I really don't know the rest of them, but
But
they're all scattered all over.
okay, but you have a basic idea of who they are and what they
Mhm.
do. In all of these 17, are you still the first and only one to go to college? And
Yes.
okay, so what drove you to do that?
Um, I guess, just watching movies and, seeing how people can overcome certain obstacles. Um, I always wanted to go to college, especially when I went to was in elementary school. I went to Catholic school, and they used to always bring up, college this, college that. But as a young kid, I really didn't know, what an HBCU was. That's the type of college that I went to, a HBCU. So learning, watching movies like Drumline is what introduced me to, college and what's going on in college. You know, other shows like uh Grownish. Grownish is what pushed me to want to go to college. Watching shows that talked about college pushed me to, want to succeed, and also talking about it with my parents. Explaining to them like, we don't have this in our family, and I wanted to be the first, and I wanted to do something that people said that I wasn't able to do. Because growing up in elementary school, I had a learning disability, so having that learning disability, a lot of people doubted the fact that I was going to be able to even graduate high school and even get into high school. So to show, to go back and show those people that, you were wrong by coming home with a bachelor's degree, and not only a bachelor's degree, having high honors. I graduated with magna cum laude. So that's one of the top honors. And me doing that was just like, like a show off. Like, yeah, you thought I couldn't do it, but I proved you wrong.
Nothing that you want to express when you worked hard for it. It's not a show off. Tap yourself on the back, blow your trumpet. Your hard-earned tears, your long nights of sweat, you earned it. It's not about being a show off. So take that word out of your vocabulary right now. That's an order. You mentioned HBCU. Tell our audience what HBCU is and why you chose to go to one of these colleges.
So, HBCU stands for Historical Black College University. Basically, the school has to be built, for Black students. My school was North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, which was founded in 1891. So back then our school wasn't called North Carolina Agricultural Technical State University. It was actually called the Negro College of in North Carolina Agricultural, and it was an agricultural school. I chose to go to a HBCU because I wanted to surround myself within, um my people. Like, I wanted to surround myself with, other Black people. Not only those, all like the school is a historical Black college, and we have a lot of Black students on campus, but it's not really all Black. We have some minorities on campus, but majority of the school is, African American. So I decided to go to HBCU, also because my whole entire family went to the HBCU that I went to. I'm actually a legacy of the school. One of my uncles was a professor there. One of my cousins built the student center. My grandparents' best friends are their names, Kathy R. and John R. Like they're the face of my college. So I graduated in social science, and their names are on that college. So I'm just happy to be a part of that.
Oh, that is indeed a proud place to be. And no doubt you didn't have a choice but to graduate magna cum laude. You didn't have a choice because you had to uphold or make your grandparents proud, because to be standing next to their friends, as well as to maintain setting that bar, being the first. You have to set a bar for others to, and for your sister to follow in your footsteps. What was it like having your younger sister? Did she go to the same school as you did?
No, my sister didn't want to go to an HBCU. She ended up going to Temple.
Hmm.
And what's actually crazy is that, before I even got to my HBCU, right? I actually went to community college. A lot of people doubt community college. So because remember I told you there were a lot of people that doubted me and thought that I wasn't going to be able to even get to college, right?
Hmm.
So my
Hmm.
parents told me, how about go to community college and see how it is, and when it comes to community college. And I told them I didn't want to go to community college. Like, I hated it. I didn't want to go. And I was embarrassed. And I told them, like, I'm going to only be here for a year. And watch this. I'm going to only be there for a year. And I was only at the community college for a year. I graduated in a year and went straight to my HBCU. And a lot of people was actually shocked by that because, community college is usually 2 years.
2 years, right?
Did it in a year. So if you put your mind to it, yes, and I graduated from my community college with my associate's degree with I think I had a 3.8 GPA. It was a high GPA. I had a really, really high GPA, and I was able to get into my HBCU at no cost. So
Oh, so you got a full ride scholarship.
it's not really a full. So when I first got to my HBCU, my first year was a full ride, and
Okay.
that they made me pay, but it was only like $4,000 that I would have to pay, but
Mhm.
scholarship covered that. So technically,
Okay.
they have a full ride.
So you applied for scholarships and you got that. You got them.
Yeah, I actually didn't apply for some of the scholarships that I got. I had got some scholarships because of my grades that I transferred in.
Yes. Merited. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we had a guest say that they're proud of you, and just listening to you it's a pro. It will be definitely a proud moment for any parent who see how much you overcame to be where you are at. Tell us some of the challenges you had to go through overcoming that disability.
So I definitely um went through a lot of challenges. I had a speech
Impediment?
impediment. Also it's hard for me to, focus. I have ADHD also. So, being in college, that's a scary thing. And especially being 9 hours away from my family in a big giant university. That was really scary for me, but I kind of got the hang of it by, getting comfortable with myself by going to the teacher. I'm going to my professor and asking for help. Like the first day of school, I would make sure that I'm there early, make sure I get my spot because that's going to be my spot for the whole entire semester. um, when class is over, after we do our introductions, I also go up to the professor and introduce myself again and let the professor know, like, hey, I'm so and so, and I just want to let you know that I have a learning disability. I'm not coming to you with any excuses. I just wanted to let you know that I kind of take time on taking tests. I need you to explain things like more to me so I could get a better understanding. And that's what actually made me close with all of my professors while I was in college because me communicating with them showed them that I'm actually dedicated and that, I really wanted the help and I didn't want to use any type of excuse for myself. So like I still talk to my professors today. I even like while I was on campus, I used to go to the chair, the dean, and just chill in her office, and help out over there. I'll do anything just to show them that, this is who I am. I want help, and since you gave me like help me on what I needed help with, I'm gonna help you with anything that you need help with, that's on grading papers, fixing the office, cleaning the office, or just staying there with them, doing stuff like that. I also joined a lot of organizations that also helped me while I was in college.
these are some very, very good tips that you mentioned. You showed some level of grit and level of assertion there. You know, not aggression, very assertive in how you went about, and very strategic in how you manage the relationship to help you to complement. You know what your weakness was, and instead of feeling ashamed of it, you helped it to use it. You used it to help you to work through the whole academic journey. And your self advocacy was very powerful in how you brought it out in terms of going forward on the first day and introducing yourself and letting them know, hey, this is me, this is who I am. Authenticity, I've found, always pays off instead of pretending. You know, to be authentic in who you are and to accept where you are at and the place in which you are at takes you. How has that been for you? Has that always been who you are, or did you
Um,
develop that along the way?
So I developed that definitely when I got to college. Because when I was in high school, I can honestly say I really was not, you know, a good student. Like my grades were not there at all in high school. That's why a lot of people doubted me. Also when I was in high school, I never went up to my teachers. I never really asked for help. I just really just did the work. Like it was just the best of my ability. If I knew it, I understood it, then I'll complete it. If I didn't understand it, then I still would just complete it. But after talking to my parents and then realizing like, hey, um, uh, I need to work on me and I need to change this attitude that I have. And, you know, if I want to succeed, I need to ask for help, you know? So when I got to college, I'm just like, okay, I'm not only doing this for my parents, I'm doing this for myself. So let me go and talk to these professors and allow them to understand who I am, you know, without being ashamed and everything. But definitely, I wish I would have done that in high school. I feel like if I did do that in high school, my grades would have been better. But since I can't go back in time, I can only continue doing this further on. And I still do this while I'm in grad school. Even though while I'm in grad school, I'm not there in person, I'm there online. Even when I was in college and undergrad, while I took my online classes, I still introduced myself to the professor. I'll send them like a separate email and just, you know, let them know the details on who I am and, you know, what's going on.
Yeah, and also there is this act. Oh my God, I'm losing my thing. I had it written down and I can't find it now. The health. There is a health act for when you're in college. Disability act that you, if you do have some level of mental disability or any disability that is going to be some level of limitation, you can fill it out and send it to the Department of Student Affairs and let them, you get a verification from your doctor saying this is valid, and they allow you accommodations with regards to fully in your exams, just like how you went up to them and talked to them about it. But this one is just through the official process.
Yeah,
Um,
I did that because we have to do that in, at my school to let the professors know. I just, you know, also go up to I also went up to them and talked to them just to, you know, still introduce myself and just to get them,
definitely,
you
yeah.
know, they have like over 200 students. So who knows if they're going to remember, you know, that I'm going through this. But for
Right.
go up to them and verbally say it and actually, you know, have a conversation with them and have and talk with them after class and everything, it got them to remember who I am and remember why, you know, I'm here talking to them, or like why I came to them for help and everything.
And this would definitely stand out to any person as the grit, you know, the audacity of this young woman to stand up and speak, because a lot of young people they find it intimidating to do things like that. What did you find intimidating throughout your undergrad and presently through your grad schooling?
Um, intimidating with undergrad. I didn't see anything intimidating in undergrad. Um, I actually enjoyed undergrad because, like I said, I had a connection with my professors. So I really wasn't intimidated when it came to, classwork and everything, because I knew that I was going to meet up with my professor after class and, go over what I didn't understand. And I really wasn't ashamed of it because, also within my HBCU, we work together. So like we have apps where like GroupMe, we have a GroupMe app. And basically that's an app where you'll have your whole entire class inside the app, and we get to text each other. So we'll help each other. We'll meet up in the library, like, hey, do you want to study in the library? So if anyone is failing, we all work together to have the whole class pass. So I didn't see anything intimidating when it came to undergrad because I had a shoulder to lean on. I had people that can help me. I was helping others also. But I can honestly say grad school, that right there, grad school, I just finished my first semester of grad school, and that was very intimidating, like highly. I took it online, and I'm an in-person person. So taking an online class, especially in grad school, was just like the hardest thing ever because, not only am I working two jobs, but, you know, um, I'm not there physically to understand what, we have to do. And I just find that intimidating because, within online classes, you have to wait to get a response from your professor, like wait days. Instead of being in person, you could just go up to their office and talk to them and ask for help. So I kind of find that intimidating. But yeah,
So you're doing two, you have two jobs. Are both of them full time?
yes.
So you have two full-time jobs and doing a graduate degree. How does that work out for you? I know I promise to let you go early so you could get your beauty sleep and your rest, because with all of that you need it. How does that work for you? Oh, how do you work through that?
So it was very stressful trying to do all three. Basically I work from 11 to 7 a.m, like 11 p.m to 7 a.m. So while I'm at the 11 to 7 a.m, I try to get some homework done while I'm at the job. And then I go to my other job from 9 to 5:30. And when I come home like around 6 o'clock, I'll do some more homework and then take a nap and then go to my other job, like in a rotation. It'll be the same thing.
Mhm.
Over the weekends, I stopped, hanging out with friends. I stopped doing, things that I would do like during my free time. My free time contained me doing homework. Most of the time. So my Saturdays and Sundays would be me in front of a computer screen doing homework.
That's very, very disciplined of you. What pushes you? What's your drive?
Just making it and reaching my goals. My drive is to succeed. Do something that I couldn't even imagine myself doing. Do something that younger me said that wouldn't even be able to happen, and accomplish things that other adults told me as a kid that I was not going to be able to accomplish.
So in fact, it's like you have a point to prove.
Yes.
Yes, you have a point to prove. Is it more so for others or it is for you?
I would say both is for others and for me, because I want to show people that not only, um, like others that have the same disability as me. I don't want you to give up or anything. I want you to see that somebody that's just like you can do it. You can do it too. Especially the way that like my past, like how my bringing up, like how I was brought up. A lot of people was brought up the same way, but also, fell down a rabbit hole. I want others to know that you can get out of that rabbit hole and succeed.
Tell us a little bit about how you were brought up.
Basically, I don't live with my birth parents. Um, I went through a lot of traumatic and crazy things, as a kid, that no kid should have, went through. Life is almost took me and my sister away, but I ended up living with my great aunt and uncle who raised me and my little sister. And we're Irish twins, by the way. Me and my sister. And um, basically, I didn't have my birth parents in my life at all. Um, but when I was with my birth parents, you know, we lived in Longburg, North Carolina, which is a hood in North Carolina. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and just a lot of things happened that no kid should be seeing happen. And you know, as I got older, I tried to separate myself from that, to not join, you know, to not fall in that trap, you know, as my parents. I wanted to break generational curses, and I did within my family. You know, within my family, the women in my family get pregnant at a very, very young age. Like my mom had me at 15 years old. Her mom had her, you know, really young, and her mom had her really, really young. So I wanted to break that generation curse, and I did, because I'm 24 with no kids. I also broke the generational curse by, you know, also being one of the first to, you know, get a degree, and go to grad school, and, you know, work on myself. I'm building on myself, and I feel like nobody else is doing the same thing.
Some people, that I applaud you. This has been a lot and a long journey for a young person. And I really, really commend you on striving and being where you are at. For some people, having gone through all of that and then being where they are, or like where you are at now, there is this trending word, imposter syndrome. Have you ever felt that at all?
Not really. Not really. I feel like a lot of people think like my happiness is like, you know, a facade. You know, like when they say you could be smiling, but deep down inside you're not really smiling. I feel like all around I'm smiling, because it's like I got out of a situation where I could have been dead, you know? So there's no need for me to put myself down and put myself in a dark place. You know, it's like we were brought into this world for a reason. Like, I just don't want to.
Yeah, and imposter syndrome is when people are in a certain place of success, but they don't feel like they deserve it. But from what I'm understanding from you, you feel you've earned it, you deserve it, you've worked hard to be where you're at, and you're enjoying every minute of it.
Yes.
and this is, or just being present with it.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a very good place to be. And you certainly seem to be in the right mindset and space to be successful. We're going to take a 5-minute break. And remember, you're looking at the Youth Effect on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Yoku. And on YouTube, you could look at us at TDN Network 1, on Facebook, Radio Caribbean 1. And remember also, you can send us your information at the Youth Effect 767 at gmail.com. Send us your points, your views, your suggestions, your recommendations, what you like, what you don't like, where we can improve. We're there for you, okay? And we'll be right back with Lykyra Barber, and you can find her at, tell us your Instagram.
Kyreesade. And it's Lykyra.
Lykyra. You see, I know you had to surprise to correct me. Lykyra. You see, the unique name brings out the unique attitude in this young woman. And tell you, you feel her presence. She oozes it out. Very confident young lady. We're going to take a break to listen to our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Stay with us.
A smart house run by a vengeful AI, a mute witness to an act of unspeakable evil. A breadfruit thief is haunted. A young man unwittingly creates a god. Giant crappos terrorize a community. A witch seeks revenge on her neighbors, and much more. The Piton Noir Writing Collective is thrilled to announce the release of the third book in their acclaimed anthology series, The Flying Crapo. Flying Crapo, Heroes and Monsters. Now available for purchase on Amazon.com. Get your copy today and embark on a journey filled with heroes, monsters, and the magic of the Caribbean.
Get ready for an electrifying thriller. A fearless New York attorney takes on corrupt corporate giants fighting for the powerless. Can this seasoned attorney and his team take down a monstrous company and its powerful leader? What will be the final verdict? What price will our heroes pay? Find out as you turn the pages of The Trust by Sam George. Get your copy of The Trust today from Amazon.com.
Hi, thank you for being back and staying tuned with us. We're here with Lukaira Babel. Did I say it correct again? She'll tell us. Did I say it correct?
No,
Lukaira.
it's Lakira.
Lukaira. 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 It sounds like a song.
Yeah.
Lukaira. Yeah, it sounds like a Spanish song or something.
Like you could just say Kira.
Like, sorry?
You could just say Kira. Just Kira.
Kira. Okay. Yeah. Okay, tell us something, a unique experience you've had in this journey of studies, or that you've on, basically just developing yourself, overcoming your mental disability. Are you over it, or are you working through it or with it? Where are you at with that?
Within my disability.
Yes.
I could say I'm still working through it. I still have my, moments where I still need guidance, mentorship. So yeah, I definitely still I'm still working on it. I talk to my professor every single day. I have one of my professors from school that I talk to every single day. That's my girl. She's my friend and also my mentor. So I can talk to her about anything, and she talks to me about anything. We basically mentor each other, you know. But she helps me through it. I also have another mentor who helps me through it, and I talk to my aunts and I pray. That's another thing that gets me through it.
Very good, very good. Do you have any specific prayers or routines or schedules that you follow?
Not really. I don't really have a schedule or a specific prayer. I just, just have a conversation with God
Mm-hmm.
every single day
Yeah.
throughout the whole entire
Uh,
day.
a continuing conversation, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Nothing scripted. You just go from the heart, straight from the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Maraboli, I'm reading a quote. It says, "You don't have to be the product of your circumstances. You can be the architect of your own destiny." How does that reflect you?
Ah.
I mean, for all what you've said here tonight,
Mhm.
you have shown that you are indeed being the architect of your own destiny in terms of deciding you're going to break generational curses, deciding that's what you're going to do, deciding people's labels are not going to define you or not going to keep you in a stigmatized environment. But how do you feel for yourself that you have been your own architect of your own destiny?
Like you said, like I've overcame a lot of obstacles. I just rebranded myself, basically, I looked at myself as a failure and someone that was not going to be able to make it in life. And I didn't want to live that life anymore. So I changed who I am. I changed, that name for myself. And now every time I see, family members or like other people, they be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you." I hear that all the time. And it's like just hearing that motivates me even more. Like it just makes me want to do more for myself.
Okay. Tell us the process of rebranding yourself. Okay. We've heard that you decided I'm not gonna do this. I'm decided I'm not gonna do it. What was the process like? Take us through that with you.
Ooh, the process. Um uh that's kind of hard.
Okay. Break it down. Okay. All right. So you decided that you're gonna go to college, you're gonna do this. High school was not the best for you.
Mm-hmm.
You were not assertive, but then you decided to go to college and then you decided to do all of that, but it came in steps.
Yeah.
So what was the aha moment, and how did you sit down and draft out, I'm going to do this so I can get this. This is what I want to do. This is what I needed to do to get this. At what point in time that came for you, and how did you go about doing it?
I guess I believe when I had a conversation with my parents about, college and everything. And it was my parents and my therapist, and they was
Sorry,
basically.
is that your biological parents you're speaking about? No?
Oh no, these are my aunt and uncle. I just call them my parents because that's.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was my parents, my therapist, and it was basically the main conversation about, me going to college. I had to go to community college and everything. And um, when I was in that process of going to community college, I really hated it to the point where it was like um I was about to give up, and then I started hearing them say, "Oh, she's probably not even gonna last there," stuff like that. That made me like wake up and say like I wanna prove them wrong. I need to change this because I don't want this narrative to be on me my whole entire life, you know. So basically, at that moment, that's when I realized that I needed to make a change, like immediately. I just hope that answers your question.
It does, it does, it does. Was your awakening moment, your aha moment, as Oprah says, your aha moment.
like when I had that conversation, but with my parents and my therapist or whatever, my therapist was kind of siding my parents like, "Oh, you want to go to North Carolina, but you're not ready for North Carolina. You're not about to go 9 hours away and waste money and not not really succeed." Basically, I had like a whole bunch of doubts, and I showed them. I'm like, "Okay, bet this. I'm only going to UCC. Oh, I'm only going to community college for 1 year. Boom, did that. I'm going to North Carolina A&T State University. Boom, did that." They wanted me to go to college in New Jersey and stay in New Jersey because they felt like me going so far away, I was going to get distracted. I was not gonna, I was going to be wasting money. And yeah, I was probably going to get kicked out of school for academic probation or whatever. But I proved them wrong. So.
Okay. Woo! We have our own little party here. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. What was your support? Your okay. You did tell us about your support structure at school in terms you built up a mentorship, your class group who supported you as well. You also mentioned you speaking here of your therapist.
hmm
What was it like to be? How long did you stay in therapy? Are you still in therapy? And what would you say about therapy?
Well, I started therapy when I was 2 years old. After coming out of that traumatic thing, I had to immediately get put into therapy. So I've been in therapy ever since. I kind of stopped therapy once I got to college, which was like 2021. I stopped going to therapy and I started, focusing on myself and everything. not really listening to what somebody else, had to say. Um, I support therapy though. I will always go back. It's just that I just need a break for myself because I've been doing it for so long, and that's another reason why I went into this field. Like not only criminal justice but also psychology. I went into the psychology field because like people was helping me, so I wouldn't help those who are also going through the things that I'm going through.
Okay, lovely. What would you tell people? Because there are adults who have I mean, I wouldn't even say adults. Therapy is very stigmatized. What would you say to that? What is your opinion on that?
I feel like you got to be comfortable with that person. Like me, my therapist were always, a black woman. Um, somebody has to be understanding, not very judgmental. The therapist that I was explaining the one I was citing with my parents on, that had doubts for me. I kind of doubted her too as a therapist because it's like, who are you to judge? And then after that, I just never went back to therapy. I think after that experience. But I say go when you sign up to go to therapy, I feel like you should do a background check on that therapist. You know, go to somebody that's recommended to you. Don't just go to anybody. Um, yeah, just do your research on that person.
Because a therapist is not supposed to tell you. A therapist is supposed to help pull out things from you to
Hmm.
help you make the decisions for yourself. Because you have everything that you need within you. You just do not know it.
Hmm.
A lot of us do not know it, and a lot of the traumas and stigmas and situations and experiences we have stay within us and create our own subconscious behaviors, and habits and patterns, and that's where it comes from. And sometimes we do not know why we behave the way we do because we do not have the expertise to pull it out within ourselves.
Hmm.
So some people believe that, well, you had that experience, and I'm sorry that it was that experience for you. But the role of the therapist is supposed to help pull that out from you with asking the why, who, what, when, how, where questions, and you do the answering and you do exploration of your own internal experiences and come up with your own things and guide you, not tell you. And that is where I think a lot of people when they have this level of, I wouldn't say fear, but the word starts with A, but it's not coming out. Um, of having to go to therapy and therapy sessions. I was going to say something, but I lost my train of thought. But in all, therapy is a good thing, the lack of a different word, better word for thing,
Hmm.
for us who are on a self-development path. As you said, it's good to do your reviews and do your background checks and everything like that, because such a sensitive thing. Whereas I know what I was gonna say in the Caribbean too, and a lot of us in our black population or demographics, especially, we have more of this stigma of therapy in our black demographic, because we believe that once we see a therapist, two things. It's defining us as being crazy,
Hmm.
or mental, and two, the men in our family, because we've been told in our culture, I should say, that big men don't cry. If the men have to put on this facade that they are okay and that they can take care of themselves. Well, you know what? Big men cry, and it has to take a big man to admit his weakness and his vulnerabilities and to sit down and cry and let that out and to be vulnerable and to show up. The most important thing sometimes the therapies help us to do is to show up for ourselves. And that to show up for ourselves is dealing with our experiences face on. And then when we can deal with those experiences face on, because you can only deal with what you know. If you do not know what you're dealing with, you do not know what to do. You're
Yeah.
still left in limbo. So I commend you on doing all that at such a young age also. As I say, you already had the experience of all these years of therapy. So you could also be guided by the different experiences you've had with the different therapists that you've had
Yeah.
throughout this. And in spite of the experience you had with the last one, you still drove yourself to doing psychology and to become a psychiatrist. Why psychiatry as opposed to psychology, being a psychologist?
I want to be able to diagnose, also while trying to help, you know.
Mhm.
I feel like some, especially, within, being an African American woman, we need to be seen in that field because a lot of, African Americans have been labeled as, schizophrenic and other mental health problems. And I feel like they're being mistreated. A lot of them are being mistreated. A lot of people are being misdiagnosed, and I feel like if I'm in that field, I will be able to save somebody and help somebody during that hard time.
Okay, good for you. Are there any volunteer work and things like that you're saying in the meantime to help you build up some level of experience in that, or just a little bit of a window or peep see into the field that you choose for yourself?
So one of my jobs, I worked as a residential counselor, is in a behavioral health center. Basically, majority of my residents have schizophrenia. Actually, all of them have schizophrenia. But most of my residents have different um, mental health problems. Like they'll be schizophrenic, but also bipolar syndrome, but also a whole bunch of other syndromes. They take over like 20 things of medication every single day. You could just see how they act. In the house, you got some of them that talk to themselves, who think that their names is something. Some of them see things that we can't see, like, things like that. But um, I'm happy to be in that field to get an understanding of, who they are, and also to not be afraid. A lot of people are actually scared of people who are schizophrenic or, has certain mental disabilities. And it's like there's nothing to be scared of. They just need help. Like they just want somebody to help them.
Ooh, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're doing really, really good. What keeps you grounded? Okay, I know you pray, but you work, you work, you
Hmm.
study, you nap, you work, you work, you study, you nap. This cycle continues. Of course, you pray, you keep praying. But what else helps keeps you grounded? What is the me time for Miss Barbara?
Me time. Sometimes on the weekends. I'm happy that I'm able to, do certain things for myself now. Like I've been on a few vacations. Like I just came back from Jamaica for my birthday, and I went by myself. That was
Good
like a
for
whole
you.
me
Yeah.
time type of thing.
Is that
Uh,
the first time you did that?
yeah, that
Travel
was
by yourself?
Yes, that was my first solo trip, and I'm actually kind of happy that I did that because I got to get away from people. I got to meet new people. I got to explore, and learn how to do things by myself. And that's another thing that I feel like a lot of people needs to, break away from. I feel like a lot of people think that they need to, latch on to somebody and do everything with somebody and not do it by themselves. I feel like everybody should, you know, have their moment where they can experience something by themselves instead of having other people there with them.
Good for you. It's just from one level to the next. And as we say, up is up. You know, keep on striving, keep on getting there. What are the things? What is something? Okay, so you rewarded yourself with that trip. What is another reward you have for yourself at the end of your first year of your graduate school?
um,
Let me just read what a audience member says. She has a good head on her shoulders and is determined to succeed in her career and make a positive impact on her community. Yes, yes, she does, Brown Rose. Yes, she does. Yeah. And she will keep her head on her shoulders. Strong shoulders. Yes, tell us about your reward for yourself.
um, basically, seeing my family happy and seeing them like hearing them say that they're proud of me, that's a reward to myself because it's like I did it. And not only, like I said, not only was it for my parents, but it was also for me. So, just hearing that from them is a reward all around. Because I didn't hear that much growing up, so hearing that now is like a trophy.
Yes, definitely. And remember, you are watching Miss Barbara and her achievements on the Youth Effect on TDN Network One on YouTube, TDN Radio Caribbean on Instagram, as well as TDN Radio Caribbean on Facebook. All right. So keep looking at us. So you can look at us also on via streams on TDN TV24 on Roku. Keep looking at us, and every Monday at 8:30 we have another strong-willed, another young person bringing forward their stories to us to help us see that they are people too. One of these things that we want to show and bring forward, not to want to show, we strive to bring forward are your voices, your experience, to show how strong you all are as a generation, and that your input is in fact creating ripples in creating a better world. um a better world for us as your predecessors, as well as a better world for you, your generation, your present generation, and those that's going to come after you. And in terms of helping us, the adults, see into that world of you all, in terms to support you, to help you to advocate for yourself, as you did by going up to your professors. And I know you have a little more on you too. She does stand up for herself. And to show us that, yeah, you all can do it, and to help us to have the level of confidence in your generation, because a lot of times us as the older ones, we tend to criticize the younger generation and think, because a lot of that comes from fear, and fear and anger comes from a level of misunderstanding, because we do not understand your generation. You all have a different language and everything else. But when we were younger, we had our own language too. And with the advent and invasion of the internet and technology, you all are going at such a fast speed ahead of us. We have to be creative in keeping up with you all, because otherwise that gap is just going to keep on having this rift. So the youth effect aims to help close that gap, so we can work with each other, understand each other, learn from each other, and support each other in making this world a better place for us to live in. I promised you that I will let you go early, but before you leave, could you share three experiences or lessons, anything that you like to share with your peers in terms of following in your footsteps, or how would they get there?
I say if you have goals, write them down and check them off as you complete them. Work on those goals. Don't just write them down and just have them written down on a piece of paper and something for you to look at. Actually work on completing them, because once you do it, you're gonna feel accomplished. You're gonna feel like you actually did something. Um, I just say work hard. Uh, as the kids say today, lock in. That is
Lock in. So write down your goals, lock in. What is the third one?
uh I'm gonna just get back to the whole praying thing. Just keep praying because it's gonna work out.
Keep praying and keep on believing in yourself. I love it. I love it. What are three things you would like to share with us, the adults?
Um, I'll say for the adults, when it comes to your kids, listen to them. don't be so harsh on them and don't doubt them. I'll say like sit down and actually have a conversation with them and get to know what they like, because kids change throughout the years, and it's like I feel like some parents have this narrative on that kid because of how they acted at this age, and they think they're still going to continue that as they get older. I feel like parents should sit down and actually get to know their kid better as they're getting older, and respect whatever their wishes are, and motivate them to continue on accomplishing their goals and everything.
To support your children. Don't keep a label on them for any particular age group they are, because they grow, and listen to them, right? That's what you're saying. These are the three things. So
Yes.
that's it for us parents. Listen, if you listen to your kids, give them the benefit of the doubt, support, encourage them. Don't keep them in a space in time. Allow them to grow and expand, because people change, and encourage them. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I think you're going to make an excellent psychiatrist, and just keep focused on your goals. Remember to have some me time. Well, I see you do your nails, so of course you do some spa time. So that's me time too, and that's good. And you always have your hair well done, so that's me time too. So keep on taking care of yourself. Keep on projecting that level of confidence, that inner beauty, and keep developing your support network and your village, because having a village is definitely important, which is something that you shared with us when you said about your network and your village at school.
Yes.
How you go on, and the relationship that you have with your professors, and that was a very key. That was very key thing that you shared. So I've gone through the whole thing with you, and I haven't spoken about my kids, which is not usually me. And I'm gonna say that because this is something I always, always, always endeavor for them, in encouraging them to do, which is very important. And it's good hearing you as a young person say that it's important to develop a relationship with your professors, because
Yeah.
therein lies your success, and so they have done that to the most best of their ability in certain ways. And there are certain things, as I say, can be intimidating for young people to approach certain professors if they have never done it before. So your level of assertiveness is really commendable, as I said, and maybe it's a good point for others to follow in your footsteps, not to be ashamed of any disability that you have, but to use it as your strength and your force to go forward. Take it with you, carry it, and don't use it as an excuse, as you said earlier, but use it as the wind beneath your wing. I wish I had that song, Bette Midler's song, to say, "Yeah, the wind beneath my wings," and that's what you did. You used it to give you wind for you to fly. So keep flying, my dear. And I wish you all the best in your studies, and you will definitely be a success. I can see it already. If you keep on that path and limit the level of distractions. You already have done that. So there's nothing else I can tell you. You have, the viewer said, you have a good head on your shoulders. Keep that, and keep your eyes on the prize.
Okay.
Valedictorian, okay?
Yes.
Yes. When is your graduation date?
It will be December 2025.
That's next year, December.
Yes.
Okay, 1 more year. Okay, you go, girl. And I'm already celebrating with you. So you take care, and thank you so much for taking some time off your busy schedule to share with your peers and with us, the adults, on the grit it takes to grow beyond generational curses and generational cycles, reaching for that dream, that not only the American dream, but for your own personal dream to be the best that you can, the best that you already are. So thank you once again. And remember, tell us again your Instagram, where they can find you and see some parts of your journey and how you express yourself and let your
Uh,
voice.
you guys can follow me on Instagram at KYREESADE. It's pronounced Kira Sade.
Kira Sade. That's nice. Everything is so unique about you. All the best. Okay,
Well, thank you so much for having me.
it was a pleasure. The honor was all mine. And I will say that on behalf of our network. Thank you once again. And we wish you all the best. We're going to go into, as we allow Miss Barbara to go on to get her nap or to do homework, whichever one, or go back to her next job. Take a nap to go back to her next job. We're going to go again into another sponsor. And remember, you're looking at the Youth Effect. I'm Kathy Robinson. Stay right here with us, and we'll be right back.
Get ready for an electrifying thriller. A fearless New York attorney takes on corrupt corporate giants fighting for the powerless. Can this seasoned attorney and his team take down a monstrous company and its powerful leader? What will be the final verdict? What price will our heroes pay? Find out as you turn the pages of The Trust by Sam George. Get your copy of The Trust today from Amazon.com.
And thank you once again for staying tuned with us. And we heard some interesting points from Miss Barbara on going beyond these generational cycles. And, you know, in our Caribbean lingo, we say, yes, as she mentioned, generational curses. What's a generational curse? Generational curse is staying stuck in a cycle of negativity or a pattern, being stuck in a pattern that you cannot get out of. We heard her mention of teen pregnancies in her family, of no higher education, of abuse, and she strove to not follow that pattern or claim that pattern for themselves. And as we're talking about things as adults, some of us, we find ourselves stuck in the same patterns, and we sit down and we say, oh my goodness, I am repeating, that's just like my grandmother, that's just like my mother, that's just like my father. I do not. And sometimes we are angry with others. Our anger is normally directed at people because we see ourselves in them. Or we are angry at someone because we see that same level of behavior in us, or we are also lashing out at them because of our fear of becoming like them. But what can we do in terms of breaking generational curses? And we saw that exhibited in Miss Barbara. She had a high level of self-awareness. She had intentional action, and she had a level of support in her adoptive parents, as she said, her parents. But not only through her parents, she developed her village through school network when she went to college by having her aha moment, you know. So in developing self-awareness, you identify what that issue is in your family. Journaling helps a lot. Writing helps. For those of you who do not like to write, you know, technology right now allows us so many different avenues. You have mostly everybody has a phone that can do memos. Record yourself. You can have a file of recorded memos. You can do a memo, as well as talk about your feelings. You go talk about something that triggered you, because in talking about it, you're going to identify what the issue is. Because a lot of times our behaviors come from our subconscious amness, from our early developmental years, you know, between the ages of 0 to 5. Some theories say 0 to 7, but normally from 0 to 3 or early developmental years. And the subconscious experiences, especially those with our primary caretakers, stay within us, and we develop habits, whether we felt neglected or we felt loved. This will come out in our behaviors later on. So develop that level of self-awareness by identifying what the curse is. Reflect on your family's history, identify patterns of behavior, attitudes, or the circumstances around anything that may contribute to the curse. Trigger moments. An event happen, you can feel it, the anxiety within you. Once you feel that level of discomfort, we call it dissonance within you, where you feel it, why you feel it, how you feel it, what brought it on, what things you were thinking that brought on this effect. That can help you identify what issues that you're dealing with. Understand what the root cause is. Once you've identified what the cause is, try to understand. Sometimes at our basic level of understanding, we haven't got a level of expertise. That would be a great time to identify a therapist, as Ms. Barber said. Do your level of review, your research, see what the reviews are. You can probably go once, see what your level of comfort is with that person, and then go forward from there. Recognize what your role was in that particular situation. Take responsibility for it. Maybe it has nothing to do with you. Maybe that has been something that's been going on in your family for 10 generations, okay? So don't get into a thing thinking right off the bat, this has something to do with me or I did something. Not necessarily so, all right? I don't like to have a victim mentality or victim mindset, but in this particular case, you're the victim of circumstances around you. Some people don't believe your circumstances make you. I believe part of that, or circumstances, do make us to a certain degree. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. In terms of intentional action, set boundaries. We spoke earlier on when we were speaking in our first session with Miss Ashlyn Pond, Ash the artist, yes, my beloved darling daughter, when we were talking about building relationships. We spoke about setting boundaries and how healthy it is to set boundaries. No is a full word. No is a word too. No is a full sentence in and of itself. It needs absolutely nothing else to support it. No. I have my beloved Auntie Avis. Her thing used to be, her default answer was always no. She may come back to you after, but her default answer was always no. I'm still working on that. It seems my default thing is always yes, which is not a very good thing at all. Okay, so establish healthy boundaries with yourself and with your family members. It's okay. It may hurt them, but sometimes your mental stability is more important. If you're not healthy, you cannot be present for anybody else. You need to be present for yourself, okay? So remember, you have to invest in your education. Seek education and personal growth. Go to a yoga class. Go to the spa. What little courses can you do? There are a lot of open courses online right now. I do courses on Coursera. I do courses on edX. edX have courses from MIT and Harvard, which are free. If you want a certificate in this, you can pay $149 and get a certificate. And these are recognizable on your LinkedIn things because they're full courses from Harvard. Okay, there are lots of, you don't need any excuses. There are lots of resources for you to develop yourself. Simple courses. Right now I'm doing a course on Chinese philosophy when it comes to happiness and how our behaviors are affected by our subconsciousness and everything else. So there are free courses on developing a business, non-profits, on computer science. There is everything. There are over 5,000 courses, literally. Go on edX. There's Coursera. There's a whole set of others that I cannot come to my head. But go on open courses and you will find them. Okay. So there is always personal growth. Strive to develop your mind. Read a book a month, a book every 2 months. Develop a book club with your friends. Expand your mindset. Don't only take what people's opinions are on YouTube or on Instagram. These are their opinions if they're not experts on it. And still, even though people are experts on a topic, there's always a different point of view. Find those different points of view and create your own perspective on the topic. Don't just take everybody's word for it, okay? And remember, you have to go to creditable sources. The library, you can go to the library, and academic sources and journals. Wikipedia is not a creditable source. Okay? All right. So if you just want a basic idea of what things are, you can go on Wikipedia. But scientific journals, engineering journals, and those basic published articles, school, university libraries. Find yourself in those things. Become a member of a professional organization. Develop yourself, develop your mind. Read the journals, read the articles, and develop your own opinions. So seek education and personal growth to help break cycles of poverty and lack of education or limited opportunities, because there are lots of opportunities out there. We just have to find them. Okay? And as I say, luck is about where the prepared mind meets the opportunity. Okay? So if you're already prepared and the opportunity comes, you're ready for it, you grasp it. If you're not ready, then the opportunity is not there. It's not luck, right? Because you're already prepared. Develop healthy habits. As we heard what Miss Barbara said, she took herself away from wasting time I'm sure she does go out with friends, but not every weekend like she used to, or things like that. She prioritized what she needed in her life, and she learned to put some level of discipline around it. She did not see herself as a victim, but as someone and not only necessarily a survivor, but a conqueror, a warrior. That's how I would deem her, a conqueror and a warrior over her fears and over her limitations, and did not call herself a victim and say, oh, poor me, I cannot do this, and put herself out there with 2 jobs and doing a master's degree. Let me tell you something, that is nothing easy, yes? So also have some level of exercise, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. You haven't got time or money to go to a gym. There are lots of things on YouTube that you can subscribe to free. Okay? On YouTube, on Facebook, on all these social platforms. Your diet. Changing diet is hard. I like food. And my brother used to be after me. You're eating too much. I love food. I love sweets. I don't like the kitchen, but I love to eat. And I had to decide, at the time I was feeling heavy, and we all know what our frame can take. All right? 5 of us can be the same height, but our frame can take different things, and some of us are comfortable at different sizes. But I was at a size where I was feeling bloated all the time and heavy all the time, and I had to be forced to take action. I changed my diet. My brother was on a kind of a diet, and he gave it to me. Oh my God, this thing was so bitter. The first time I put it in my mouth, I wanted to throw up. But I stuck with the program, and I lost 10 pounds. And now it's even so hard for me now to go back to eating how I used to. So I eat smaller portions. I eat more salads, more vegetables, cut down on sugars. I never really did juices. I don't do sodas. I would do water instead. And even though in my experience as a food safety specialist, and I worked in franchises like KFC and Pizza Hut and Coca-Cola, these were never part of my everyday diet. I love Fanta, and it was a reward for me probably once a month. And KFC and Pizza Hut, these were also rewards at the end of the week. I never used to give it to my kids. I don't know when was the first time they were probably 10 years before they had a soda. Because my thing is, if you go to a party, there's always an option, and there's there's soda, there must be an option of water. Take the water instead. I know my children, my girls, they don't necessarily like sweets, you know, so maybe all the credit was not mine, but part of it was mine in terms of training them in that. So train yourself in that regard. Cut down on the sugars, the processed sugars, a lot too many starches and everything else. I have to work hard coming next year to get back into my more into my yoga and my meditation and things like that. Write down a schedule and a routine for yourself. Writing down is really helpful. Stick it on your mirror, okay? Your goals, stick it on your mirror. Don't put too many. One or two is enough. You're going to say, I want to do this, and you're going to overwhelm yourself. Baby steps. Baby steps. I saw something today that rung a bell for me. I put it on my status. I will put it on my Facebook page. There's a comparison with two ladders. One with close rungs, very, very close, and one with larger distance rungs. You see the difference? The one with the close rungs, the guy was way further up than the one with the wider rungs. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Because the closer the rungs are, the easier it is to get from one to the next. Look at this big gap in between there. See how he have to stretch. Maybe his pants all bursting on him, trying to stretch one leg from one to the next. Baby steps get us there. Baby steps get us there. Keep that in mind when you're making your goals. One thing at a time, and don't be too hard on yourself. You don't get something today, it's okay. Tomorrow is another day, my girl. You will make it. Just keep that level of determination. Have an accountability buddy that will help support you, not criticize you, but to help encourage you and keep you accountable to your goals, okay? Practice forgiveness and letting go. So in developing your healthy habits, you do your journaling or your memoing, okay, voice, okay, voice, saving your things in a file in voice notes. Go to bed early. If you cannot go to bed early, make sure you get a certain amount of hours of sleep. Or on a Saturday or Sunday, put off your phone. There was something that I did with my girls. Every Sunday, it was a timeout. Phones, iPads, computers down. I developed schedules, study schedules for them from Monday to Saturday, Monday to Friday, really, where they could, their clusters, their work was done in clusters, and they were able to study and get all homework done between Monday to Friday. Saturday, they could go hang out with their friends or do whatever, and on Sunday was a total shutdown. Nobody had any excuse. They were doing homework on a Sunday evening. You definitely go into school on the Monday without that homework. Monday was all phones off. It was family time. We did things together or they did things by themselves. But even myself, we shut down all computers for a certain amount of time. We might do it again. All right. So the mental health being, work on that. Healthy habits. And that will help you now bringing into practicing forgiveness and letting go. Because if we have that level of negative energy within ourselves, we have to sit down and be honest with ourselves about the things that we harbor and the things that we have to let go. And a lot of it is about learning to forgive ourselves and to let go. We heard Miss Barbara speak about the things that happened around her. And she seems very much in a good space. And if she had not let go or risen above the things that went on with her, she would never be in a successful spot, because this level of unforgiveness keep us stagnant and it keep us down and keep us in a bad place. It keeps us in a dark place. So we need to be vocal about our forgiveness to self and vocal about the forgiveness to others. Even though whoever we need to be forgive probably have already died or everything, you write it down, write a letter to that person, and then you burn it. Do a little ceremony and burn it, because the smoke and the incense, just as the smoke rises to the heavens, you let it go. Allow your spirit, burn some sage, Let some incense and some nice oils burn for you and let it go. Okay, burn a candle and just relax in that peaceful moment of just letting go. Forgive yourself. You are not perfect. We all have our thing, but in that moment of identifying our flaws, we learn and create a plan on how to do better. When we do better, when we know better, we do better. So do better, all right? Then we seek support. Develop your village. If people are not of any value to do, let them go. 2025 in December, I wrote something. I said, declutter, December, declutter, detach. We heard our guest last week, Miss Sanders, speak about that. You know, law of success, the first law of success, law of detachment. Let go of things that no longer serve you. Things and people are coming to our life for a reason, for a season. When they fulfill that, it's time to let them go. And the more we resist it, the level of resistance creates a level of tension and negative energy within us. It keeps us stagnant. Darkness. Let that go. Free yourself. Free your mind. Like Bob Marley say, mental slavery. Let it go. Open ourselves. All right? You can do better. Know better, do better. All right? Work through these underlying issues and let us develop strategies for breaking the curse. Go to a therapist. Go to a therapist. So in addition to streamlining who your village is, because your village is supposed to be people who support you, but not necessarily those that tell you what you want to hear. Those who love you enough to keep you accountable and tell you the honest truth about yourself. Honest truth about the situations that you're doing. When you're messing up, when you're doing nonsense, they tell you, you vex, so what? If I don't love you, I wouldn't tell you. I'm present. Your village is present for you. Your village loves you. Otherwise, their interest is you. All right? People who don't care about you don't have your whole interest at heart. But your village, your true village, definitely does. All right? As we say, your village, building a support network. Join a community or support group if you feel that you do not have you're away from home and you do not have that support group. There are lots of opportunities and resources in community groups, in community centers. Go online, look at one. There are a lot of free places that you can call, resources that you can call. If you feel that you are depressed, go online. There is it 811 or 899? How did I forget it? 899, I think, or 888. Oh my goodness, I forgot it. But anyway, you can go on and search it up. I'll find it for you and I'll post it on my website, on the Facebook page. All right, but there are resources. There is a lot of support out there for if you feel that you're going through moments by yourself and you need somebody to talk to. You don't feel like you can talk with anyone in your village or in your family, but reach out. Always reach out. You're never alone. Never feel that you're alone. There is always someone waiting to listen to you. And those of us on the other end of it, sometimes what I do, like I did that on the weekend and I reached out and I had a most wonderful conversation with my uncle, sit on the phone for 2 hours. You just send messages to people in your contact list. Once a month, get in touch, reach out to people. At that time, they might really need somebody. All right, so reach out to people. No, you keep on saying to yourself, but nobody reaches out to me. Are you reaching out to people? Don't say that if you're not doing it. Relationships are reciprocal, okay? You need to reciprocate what you want. Do unto others as we would like to be done unto us. Reach out a hand to someone. Lend out a hand, a supportive ear, that's all. And when somebody is telling you you don't feel well, it is not your duty to give advice and say, oh, not to say that you're strong. That is not what they want to hear. They just want you to listen. So put a padlock on it and just listen. If you feel like giving advice, Every time you feel like giving advice, knock yourself. Knock yourself. Knock yourself. Sometimes people just want to listen. And a lot of times when we ask people, how are you doing? And people say, oh, I'm good. They're not good. Because people do not open up because they know two things. We're going to be critical, we're going to be judgmental, or you want to give advice, and that's not what they want to hear. That's not what they need. They just need you to listen. That's all they want. And you will be imagine how far a listening ear goes. All right? Spiritual or energetic release. Do something. As I mentioned, prayer, meditation, rituals or ceremonies, whatever that looks like for you. Energy healing, if you're into that, you can explore that with the modalities, such as Reiki, acupuncture, release pains and blockages and promote balance and harmony. We talk about the chakras when the chakras are blocked. Give me 1 minute. Let me get something for me to show you this. So this is my chakra scroll. That is the highest of all in terms of enlightenment. So I'll just go up with it for you. All right. So you see the 5 different colors as I'm rolling it up. Yeah. So this is the utmost in terms of the mind, the throat, to go to the third eye. We go to the throat chakra, the heart chakra. All right. And all these, when we don't feel, goes all the way down here. It goes down through. If we're not feeling uneasy, certain areas, talk about having grounding issues. I talk about if you're having sexual issues, there's a blockage somewhere or whatever. You can do different little things. I have, my bells, and I do a lot of stones. What? Interestingly, I was looking for my stones. I do stones. You look everywhere, you'll see stones. I have a gong right behind me, right there. Okay. I have my gong. Okay. I have my gong. I have my salt lamp right here. So I have my ritual and my diffuser. And when I came in and for me to balance myself, I have my stones. This is one I have, and they all have names. This is just my balancing general ones. I have little ones, and I know where I get all of them. Different ones for different things, different one for different energies. Don't judge me. It works for me. It keeps me calm. It keeps me grounded. Just like how people, the Buddhists roll their beads, the Catholics roll their rosaries, I do my stones. And it keeps me grounded. It helps me to stay focused. It brings me back to my energy space. What is your routine? What is your ceremony for yourself? I do my oils, my everything quite close to me. Okay. This is bergamot and lavender. Aromatherapy is very, very important. What is yours? What helps bring negative energy to you? Take off the negative energy and bring a positive feeling of space. What's your ritual? For me, as soon as I enter my room, I put on my lamp. And as long as my lamp is not on, I don't feel in a good space. I put on my lamp. I put on my diffuser. I don't go on my bed with outside clothes. You don't sit on my bed with outside clothes. You don't come into my space with your outside clothes. All right? That's bringing in negative energy and you've been in people's space all day. All right? So do that for yourself. Determine what your ritual is. And remember, breaking generational curses is a process that takes time, effort, and patience. Be gentle with yourself and don't be afraid to seek help when you need it. All right? I've shared some very intimate things with myself. And as we're talking, here's my stone that says forgive. You might be seeing it very backward. All right? Forgive. Forgive yourself. Have peace with yourself. And my thing for myself for this year is giving myself grace. Give yourself grace and give people grace to be who they are. Go in flow. And remember, take each moment one day at a time. Be conscious in your language. Be intentional in your thinking. And know that in all things, give thanks and give praise. Thank you once again for being with us. And remember, growing beyond generational cycles, reaching for your dream is your dream. Chat through your own waters. Be the architect of your own destiny. And as I say, and as I have on my profile on my Facebook page, keep on creating the life just the way you want it. As Frank Sinatra says, when I die, I want him to sing that song. She did it her way. Do it your way. Do it the right way. And with that, I leave you with have a very, very wonderful night. And I will read to you again the quote that I read. The only way you can't change the past, but you can change the future. And the best way to change the future is to change yourself. And with that, I bid you farewell. Good night. So long, farewell. It's time to say good night to you and you and you and you and you. Good night. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for joining us on the Youth Effect. Good night. See you next week.
Growing, you the heartbeat of a world in motion. So rise up, speak out, start the revolution. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, y'all hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. The youth effect, we're raising up. The youth effect, y'all hold us down. The youth effect, we breaking ground. The youth effect, they gonna hear us roar. They gon' hear us roar. Jump, 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 jump. They gon' hear us roar.